Captain Lisa Morgan stood on the bridge of the Starbound Dawn, watching the stars through the big window. The ship was quiet except for the soft hum of the engines. Her crew was doing their usual work when something changed. "Captain, we're getting a signal," said Officer Kate Miller from her station. "It's a distress call, but the language is strange. I've never heard anything like it." Lisa walked over to Kate's station and looked at the screen. The signal was weak and broken, but it was definitely asking for help. "Where is it coming from?" "About 2 hours away at full speed. The ship looks damaged." Lisa thought for a moment. They were explorers, far from Earth, looking for new worlds and new life. This could be their first real contact with aliens. "Set course for the signal, and tell Dr. Amy Walsh to meet me in the shuttle bay." The Starbound Dawn changed direction and flew toward the unknown ship. Lisa felt excited and nervous at the same time. Humans had dreamed of meeting aliens for hundreds of years. Now it might really happen. 2 hours later, they found the damaged ship floating in space. It was beautiful but strange, made of what looked like silver and crystal. Parts of it were broken, with metal floating around it. "Life signs?" Lisa asked. "Yes, Captain. At least 6 different beings, but the readings are weird. Some of them don't look human at all." Lisa took a deep breath. "Prepare the shuttle. Amy, you're with me. And bring the translation device." Dr. Amy Walsh was the ship's expert on alien life. She was young but very smart, with short brown hair and kind eyes. She carried a small computer that could learn new languages quickly. They flew their shuttle to the damaged ship. As they got closer, they could see that it wasn't just one ship, but 2 ships stuck together. One was the silver and crystal ship they had seen first. The other was darker, made of black metal with blue lights. 2 different ships, Amy said, looking at her scanner. 2 different types of life forms. They found a place to dock their shuttle. Lisa checked her suit one more time. The air on the alien ship might not be safe for humans. The door opened with a soft hiss. Lisa and Amy stepped inside, their boots making small sounds on the metal floor. The hallway was lit by soft, blue light. Everything felt different from their human ship. They heard voices ahead. Amy held up her translation device and it started working right away, learning the new languages. "This way," Amy whispered. They followed the voices to a large room. Lisa stopped and stared. There were 6 beings in the room, but they were like nothing she had ever seen. 3 of them were tall and thin, with pointed ears and long hair. Their skin was pale like moonlight, and they moved with perfect grace. They looked like the elves from old Earth stories, but real. The other 3 were different. They were taller than humans, with blue skin that seemed to glow softly. Strange, crystal-like marks covered their faces and arms. They looked strong and dangerous. One of the elf-like beings noticed Lisa and Amy first. She had silver hair and green eyes that seemed very old and wise. She was beautiful but also scared. "More aliens," said one of the blue-skinned beings in a deep voice. The translation device turned the words into English for Lisa and Amy. Lisa decided to be friendly. She had learned that first meetings were very important. She walked slowly toward the elf-like being with silver hair and held out her hand with a smile. "Hello," she said. "I'm Lisa. We heard your distress call. We want to help." The elf-like being looked at Lisa's hand and suddenly jumped back. Her eyes went wide with fear and shock. She said something quickly in her own language that sounded upset. Lisa stopped and put her hand down. She felt confused and sad. She had only wanted to be friendly. Amy stepped forward carefully. Her translation device was working better now. "I think there's been a misunderstanding," she said softly. One of the blue-skinned beings laughed, but it wasn't a nice laugh. "The Veltar shows weakness to strangers. How typical." The elf-like being, who Amy now knew was called Veltar, looked angry at the blue-skinned being. "I am Zara Eth of the Moonwood Council, and you are wrong, Kira Voss. I showed proper caution." Kira Voss, the blue-skinned leader, crossed her arms. "Caution? You jumped away like a scared child." Lisa felt the tension in the room growing. This first meeting was not going well. "Please," she said. "We all seem to be in trouble here. Our ship picked up your distress signal. We want to help, but we need to work together." Zaraeth looked at Lisa with new interest. "You came to help strangers without knowing who we are? That's what humans do," Lisa said simply. "When someone needs help, we try to help them." Amy was looking at her scanner. "Captain, I'm reading something big approaching this system, something really big." Kira Voss checked her own device and frowned. "She's right. Unknown ship, massive size. It will be here in 6 hours." "Our ships are damaged," said a younger blue-skinned being. "My sister Nix Ara and I have been trying to fix the engines, but we need parts we don't have." "And our ship's weapons are offline," Zaraeth added. "We cannot defend ourselves." Lisa looked around the room at all the different beings. Humans, elves, and blue-skinned aliens all stuck together in space with something dangerous coming toward them. "Then we work together," Lisa said firmly. "My ship has supplies and weapons. Your ships have technology we've never seen. If we combine our knowledge, maybe we can fix everything and be ready for whatever is coming." Kira Voss studied Lisa carefully. "You would trust us with your technology? We could be your enemies." "You could be," Lisa agreed. "But right now, we all have the same problem, and I believe that working together is always better than fighting alone." Zaraeth was quiet for a long moment. Then she spoke softly. "In my culture, sudden movements toward another person can mean two things. Either you want to fight them, or you want to be very close to them. Both are intimate gestures." Lisa understood now. "I'm sorry. I just wanted to show friendship. Humans shake hands to show we mean no harm." "No harm," Zaraeth repeated the words carefully. She looked at Lisa's kind face and honest eyes. Perhaps humans do things differently." Amy held up her scanner again. "Whatever's coming toward us, it's getting closer, and it's scanning this system like it's looking for something." The room fell silent. 3 different species, 3 different ways of thinking, all facing the same unknown danger. Lisa looked at each of them. "So what do you say? Do we try this together?" The next few hours changed everything for all 3 species. Lisa had convinced everyone to work together, and now the damaged ships were busy with activity. Amy Walsh found herself working next to Nixara, the younger blue-skinned alien. Nixara was an engineer, and her skin could glow with soft light when she touched machines. This helped her see inside broken parts that were too dark for normal eyes. "Your people can do that?" Amy asked, watching Nixara's hand glow as she reached into a damaged control panel. "All Zephyrians have this gift," Nixara explained. "But I am better at it than most. My sister Kira is better at fighting. I am better at fixing things." Amy smiled. "Humans have a saying, it takes all kinds. We're all good at different things." On the bridge of the Starbound Dawn, Lisa was learning about elven technology from Zaraeth. The elf woman moved with careful, graceful gestures, very different from the quick way humans usually worked. "Your people move very fast," Zaraeth observed, watching Lisa's crew run around the bridge. "Do you ever slow down to think?" Lisa laughed. "Humans are good at thinking while we move. We call it thinking on our feet. But you're right, sometimes we should slow down." Zaraeth touched one of the human computers with her long, pale fingers. "This machine thinks very quickly, like humans, but it cannot think deeply, like elves. We could combine them, perhaps, quick thoughts and deep thoughts together. Meanwhile, Kira Voss was studying human weapons with Lisa's security chief. Kira was tall and strong, with crystal markings on her face that glowed when she was thinking hard. "Your weapons are small but clever," Kira admitted. "Zephyrian weapons are powerful, but yours can change quickly. You adapt fast in battle." "We have to," the security chief said. "Humans aren't the strongest or fastest species, so we learn to be smart and flexible." Kira nodded slowly. "This is not weakness. This is a different kind of strength." As they worked, the three species learned more about each other. The elves lived for hundreds of years and thought carefully about everything. They had technology that could predict the future and weapons that used pure energy. The Zephyrians were warriors who valued honor and strength. Their ships were like flying fortresses, and their weapons could destroy planets. But they also had a code that said the strong must protect the weak. Humans were the youngest and newest species, but they were curious about everything. They could learn new things quickly and find creative solutions to problems that other species couldn't solve. Dr. Amy was the first to notice something important. She was working with both Nixara and one of Zaraeth's people, trying to fix the ship's main computer. "Look at this," Amy said, pointing at her screen. "When I use human technology, Nixara's BioLight, and Elven prediction programs together, the computer works 3 times better than any of them alone." Nixara's crystal markings glowed brighter. "The combination makes something new, something stronger." Zaraeth appeared behind them, moving silently as elves always did. "In our ancient texts, there are stories of the Void Builders. They were a species that combined the gifts of many others. They became very powerful, but then they vanished." "What happened to them?" Amy asked. "No one knows, but the stories say they were fighting something terrible when they disappeared." On the main bridge, Lisa was getting worried reports from her sensors. The big unknown ship was getting closer, and now they could see it clearly. It was huge, bigger than all their ships put together. It was black and covered with strange symbols. "It's scanning us," reported Kate Miller. "Very detailed scans, like it's looking for something specific." Kira Voss had come to the human bridge to see the enemy ship. She studied it with a warrior's eyes. "I have never seen a ship like this. It's not Zephyrian, and it's not from any species we know." Zaraeth joined them, looking at the strange ship with ancient elven knowledge. "The design, it's very old. Older than any civilization we know, but the technology is still working after thousands of years." "How is that possible?" Lisa asked. "Only one way," Zaraeth said quietly. "If it's not controlled by living beings, if it's a machine that thinks for itself." The thought made everyone quiet. A thinking machine, older than any of their civilizations. Scanning their ships and coming closer, Amy's voice came over the communication system. "Captain, you need to see this. We found something in the Elven database." They all hurried to the computer center. Amy had combined human search programs with Elven historical records and Zephyrian tactical analysis. "The ship matches descriptions from very old Elven stories," Amy explained. "Ships called guardians that protected something important. But here's the strange part. According to the records, the guardians were supposed to keep people away from this system." "Away from what?" Lisa asked. Zaraeth looked through more records, her fingers dancing over the controls. "There's something. Here, a prison. The Void Builders built it to hold something dangerous." Kira Voss understood immediately. "The Guardian ship thinks we're trying to break into the prison." "But we're not," Lisa said. "We're just here by accident." "Try explaining that to a machine that's thousands of years old," Amy said. Suddenly, alarms started going off. The Guardian ship had stopped scanning and was now moving toward them much faster. "It's powering weapons," reported Kate Miller. "Energy readings are off the charts." Lisa felt the weight of command on her shoulders. 3 species, all depending on her decisions. "Can we run?" Our ships are still damaged, Nixera reported. We need at least 2 more hours to fix the engines. The Guardian will be here in 30 minutes, Kira said grimly. Zara stood very still, thinking with the deep patience of her people. Then she spoke. There is another way. The Guardian is protecting the prison, yes? But what if the prison is failing? What if the thing inside is trying to get out? Amy checked her scanners and went pale. She's right. I'm reading energy fluctuations from deeper in the system. Something big is moving inside what looks like a containment field. So the Guardian isn't just trying to keep us out, Lisa realized. It's trying to keep something else in. Kira Voss smiled for the first time since they met her. But it wasn't a nice smile. It was the smile of a warrior who had found a worthy fight. Then we help it. Help it? Lisa asked. The Guardian has been alone for thousands of years, Zara said, understanding. It's old and maybe not working perfectly, but if 3 species work together, if we combine human adaptability, elven wisdom, and Zephyrian strength, we could fix the prison and stop whatever's trying to escape, Amy finished. Lisa looked around at all the different faces, human, elven, and Zephyrian. A few hours ago, they had been strangers. Now they were talking about fighting an ancient evil together? All right, Lisa said. But first, we have to convince a 1,000-year-old Guardian robot that we're here to help, not hurt. Through the window, they could see the massive Guardian ship getting closer. Its weapons were glowing with deadly energy. Any ideas how to talk to something that old? Lisa asked. Zara stepped forward slowly. She held out her hand toward Lisa, palm up in the careful way of her people. Perhaps the same way you talk to us, with honest intentions and open hands. Lisa looked at the elven hand extended toward her. This time, she moved slowly and gently placed her own hand over Zara-Eth's. No sudden movements, Lisa said softly. No sudden movements, Zara-Eth agreed. Together, they would face whatever was coming. The Guardian ship was massive and terrifying. As it came closer, Lisa could see weapons that looked like they could destroy planets. The ancient machine had been alone for thousands of years, protecting its secret, and now it thought they were enemies. Open all communication channels, Lisa ordered. Every frequency we have. Amy worked quickly at her station. Channels open, Captain, but I don't know if it will understand us. Lisa took a deep breath. She was about to try talking to something older than human civilization. Guardian ship, this is Captain Lisa Morgan of Earth. We are not your enemies. We received a distress call and came to help. We do not want to enter your protected area. For a long moment, there was only silence. Then a voice came through the speakers. It was cold and mechanical, but it spoke in perfect English. Unknown. Vessels. You carry weapons. You have damaged ships that could be deception. State your true purpose. Zara-Eth stepped forward. Guardian, I am Zara-Eth of the Moonwood Council. Our records speak of your creators, the Void Builders. We honor their memory and their work. The Guardian's voice changed slightly, becoming less cold. Veltar species recognized. Archives indicate previous contact with Void Builders. However, you travel with unknown species. Explain alliance. Kira Voss spoke next, her warrior's voice strong and clear. Guardian, I am Commander Kira Voss of the Zephyrian Fleet. We fight to protect the innocent. If there is danger here, we stand ready to help contain it. Zephyrian species. New entry in archives. Warriors, yes. Purpose evaluation, incomplete. Lisa realized the Guardian was learning about humans for the first time. Guardian, humans are explorers and protectors. We came because someone needed help. That's what we do. Human species, no previous contact, analyzing behavioral patterns, scanning emotional responses. Conclusion, species appears genuine in stated intentions. Amy was monitoring her sensors carefully. "Captain, the energy readings from the prison are getting stronger. Whatever's in there is definitely trying to get out." The Guardian seemed to notice the same thing. "Warning! Containment failure imminent. Prisoner entity shows 73% probability of escape within 6 standard hours. Guardian systems are insufficient for complete containment." "What's in the prison?" Lisa asked directly. "Designation: the Hunger, entity that consumes civilizations. Void builders sacrifice their species to contain it. Guardian has maintained containment for 4,147 standard years. Guardian systems now failing." The 3 species looked at each other with new understanding. This wasn't just about helping strangers anymore. This was about stopping something that could destroy entire worlds. "Guardian, we want to help you fix the prison," Lisa said. "Our 3 species have different abilities. Together, we might be able to do what you cannot do alone." "Impossible. Organic species lack required technological understanding." Zaraeth stepped forward with quiet dignity. "Guardian, your creators were also organic. They built you and the prison. Perhaps you have forgotten that organics can surprise you." There was a long pause. "Statement contains logical merit. However, risk is extreme. If you fail, the Hunger will escape. Billions will die. And if we don't try, the Hunger escapes anyway," Amy pointed out. "At least together we have a chance." Nixara had been quietly studying the Guardian ship with her bioluminescent abilities. "Captain," she said softly, "I can see the Guardian's power systems. They're not just failing, they're almost dead. The ship is running on backup power." Kira Voss understood immediately. "The Guardian has been fighting alone for thousands of years. It's tired." "Guardian," Lisa said gently. "When did you last have help? When did someone else share the burden of protecting the galaxy?" The mechanical voice was quiet for a moment. When it spoke again, it sounded almost lonely. "Guardian has been alone since Void Builder extinction. No allies, no relief, no rest." "Then let us help you rest," Zaraeth said. "Let us share the watch." Scanning proposal. Risk assessment. High probability of failure. However, current trajectory already leads to certain failure. Proposal accepted. Transmitting prison coordinates and technical specifications. Lisa felt relief flood through her. They had convinced the Guardian to trust them. Now came the hard part. The prison was hidden deep in the system, behind a gas giant with 12 moons. As their ships approached, they could see it. A massive structure that looked like a sphere made of crystal and metal floating in space. But the crystal was cracked and dark energy was leaking out like smoke. "The containment field is definitely failing," Amy reported. "And I'm reading movement inside, something big." "How big?" Lisa asked. "The size of a small moon." The Guardian ship took position on one side of the prison. The 3 allied ships spread out around the other sides. Together, they began to study the ancient technology. "The prison uses a combination of energy fields and physical barriers," Zaraeth explained, reading the technical data. "But the power source is dying. It needs to be replaced or renewed." "The Zephyrian fleet has portable fusion reactors," Kira offered. "They might be compatible. And human adaptive technology could help connect different systems," Amy added. Nixara was using her bioluminescence to examine the prison's biomechanical components. "There are living parts to this machine. They're dying too. But maybe I can help heal them." As they worked together, combining their technologies and abilities, something amazing happened. Human creativity, elven wisdom, and Zephyrian strength began to merge into something greater than any of them alone. But the Hunger was not waiting patiently. As they worked, the cracks in the prison grew larger. Sometimes they could see something moving inside, something dark and vast and alien. Guardian, Lisa called out. How long do we have? Current rate of decay indicates total containment failure. In 3 hours, 17 minutes. Amy wiped sweat from her forehead. We're not working fast enough. The prison is too big and there are too many failing systems. Kira Voss looked at the massive structure and made a decision that would change everything. Then we need to get inside. Inside? Lisa stared at her. That's where the hunger is. The most critical repairs can only be made from inside the containment field, Kira explained. Someone has to go in there and fix the core systems while the rest maintain the outer barriers. Zara-Eth understood what Kira was suggesting. It would be a one-way trip. Whoever goes inside would be trapped with the hunger until the repairs are complete, or until the hunger escapes and devours them, Amy added quietly. Kira straightened her shoulders, like the warrior she was. Then it's good that Zephyrians don't fear death in a worthy cause. You're not going alone, Lisa said firmly. If someone has to go inside that thing, we all go together. That's what allies do. Zara-Eth nodded slowly. The Guardian has been alone for thousands of years. We will not let anyone else face this alone. Amy checked her equipment one more time. Besides, you'll need a xenobiologist if you're going to face something that eats civilizations. The Guardian's voice came over their communications. Organic allies. You would risk your lives for species you have never met? That's what friends do, Lisa said simply. For the first time in 4,847 years, the Guardian experienced something, like hope. Preparing entry portal, the Guardian announced. Warning, the hunger is aware of your presence. It will try to stop you. Through the cracks in the prison, dark energy pulsed like a heartbeat. Something ancient and evil was stirring, sensing that its long imprisonment might finally be ending. Lisa looked at her new allies, Zara-Eth with her timeless elven grace, Kira and Nixara with their Zephyrian strength and honor, Amy with her human curiosity and courage. Ready? Lisa asked. They were as ready as anyone could be to enter a prison built to hold something that devoured worlds. The inside of the prison was like being inside a nightmare. Lisa and her team floated through corridors of twisted metal and pulsing energy. The walls seemed to breathe, and shadows moved in places where there should be no shadows. Stay close. Together, Lisa whispered into her helmet radio. Don't trust anything you see. Zara-Eth was using her elven mental abilities to sense the prison's structure. The core is deep inside, but the path is not straight. The hunger has been changing. Things trying to break free. Amy's scanners were going crazy. Life readings are all wrong in here. It's like the hunger is made of pure appetite. It wants to consume everything. Kira Voss led the way with her weapon ready, while Nixara used her bioluminescence to light their path. The soft glow from her skin was the only friendly light in the dark prison. As they moved deeper, they began to hear something. A sound like whispers, but in no language any of them knew. The hunger was trying to talk to them. Don't listen, Zara-Eth warned. In the old stories, the hunger could make people want to feed it. It makes you think that giving up is easier than fighting. But the whispers were getting stronger. Amy found herself slowing down, thinking that maybe they should just leave. The prison had held for thousands of years. Maybe it would hold a little longer. Amy! Lisa grabbed her friend's arm. Don't listen to it. We're here to help people. Remember? Amy shook her head hard. Sorry, it makes everything seem hopeless. Kira Voss was having the opposite problem. The hunger was trying to make her angry, telling her that the others were weak and would fail, that she should abandon them and save herself. Lies, Kira said firmly. I have seen the strength in these allies. The hunger knows nothing of honor. They reached the core chamber and saw something that made them all stop. The hunger was not what they had expected. It wasn't a monster or a machine. It was like a hole in space itself, a place where reality was broken. Around it, the remains of the Void Builder prison systems were failing one by one. "How do we fix something like that?" Amy whispered. Zaraeth studied the ancient controls with her deep elven knowledge. The Void Builders didn't just build a prison. They built a puzzle. It requires multiple types of intelligence working together. Nixara approached one of the biomechanical systems. It was dying, its living parts turning black. "I can heal this," she said, "but it will take all my energy, maybe more than I have." "And I can interface with the quantum matrices," Amy added, "but I'll need someone to guide me through the elven sections." Kira looked at the massive power couplings that fed the containment field. "These need to be manually realigned. It will require great strength, and the person doing it will be exposed to deadly radiation." Lisa understood what they were all saying. To save the prison and stop the hunger, each of them would have to risk everything they had. "Then that's what we do," Lisa said simply. Kira stared at her. "You would sacrifice your life for people you met hours ago? Wouldn't you?" Lisa asked back. Kira thought about that and realized the answer was yes. "This is why the Guardian trusted you. Humans are unusual." They began their work. Zaraeth connected her mind to the elven systems, guiding Amy through the complex quantum patterns. Amy's human adaptability helped her understand technology that had been built by a different species thousands of years ago. Nixara placed her hands on the dying biomechanical systems and let her life energy flow into them. The black parts began to glow with soft blue light again, but Nixara grew paler and weaker. "Sister," Kira called out, seeing what was happening. "Keep working," Nixara said softly. "This is what I was born to do. To heal things that are broken." Kira felt tears in her eyes, but she turned to the power couplings. They were massive and heavy, designed for machines to move. But Kira was Zephyrian, and Zephyrians were strong. She began to lift and align the huge pieces, even as radiation burned her skin. Lisa was coordinating everything, using her human ability to see the big picture and adapt quickly when things went wrong. And things were going wrong. The hunger was fighting back. "It's trying to break our minds," Zaraeth reported, her voice strained. "It's showing me visions of my home world being destroyed." "Don't look," Amy advised. "Focus on the technical patterns. Mathematics doesn't lie." But the hunger was getting desperate. As the prison systems came back online, it began to pulse with terrible energy. The whispers became screams. "System failure in Section 7, Lisa called out. "Amy, can you reroute?" "On it," Amy said, her fingers flying over alien controls. Nixara was almost unconscious now, but the biomechanical systems were healing. Kira had aligned most of the power couplings, but the radiation was making her sick. "Almost done," Kira gasped. "Just 2 more." That's when the hunger did something unexpected. Instead of trying to escape, it focused all its power on attacking the team directly. Dark energy lashed out at them like whips. "Shields!" Lisa yelled, but their equipment couldn't protect them from something like this. Zaraeth threw herself in front of Amy, taking a blast of dark energy meant for the human scientist. The elf woman cried out and fell to her knees. "Zaraeth!" Amy caught her friend as she collapsed. Kira saw her sister falling unconscious and felt rage like she had never known. "No!" she roared, and somehow found the strength to lift the last 2 power couplings into place. The prison systems came back online with a surge of energy. The containment field snapped back into full power, and the hunger's scream of frustration echoed through the chamber, but the cost had been terrible. Zaraeth was unconscious, drained by the dark energy. Nixara had given so much of her life force to heal the biomechanical systems that she was barely breathing. Kira was sick from radiation, and Amy was injured from debris. Only Lisa was still, fully conscious, and she realized they had a new problem. "Guardian," she called on her radio. The prison is fixed, but we're trapped inside. The portal closed when the containment field activated. The Guardian's voice was sad. Confirmed. Portal cannot be reopened while containment is active. Organic allies are trapped. Lisa looked at her friends. Zara-Eth unconscious but alive, Nixara breathing weakly, Kira struggling to stand, and Amy bleeding but still trying to help the others. They had saved the galaxy, but they might not live to see it. Guardian, Lisa said quietly. Make sure our people know what happened here. Tell them that humans, elves, and Zephyrians died fighting together. Tell them we were friends. But Nixara, barely conscious, reached out with a trembling hand. Her bioluminescence was almost gone, but she had one last idea. The biomechanical systems, she whispered. They're alive now. They respond to life energy. Maybe if we all touch them together. Amy understood first. You want to link our life forces through the prison systems? That's incredibly dangerous. More dangerous than staying here? Kira asked with a weak smile. Zara-Eth opened her eyes slowly. In Elven tradition, when allies share life energy, they become family. True family. Lisa helped them all place their hands on the glowing biomechanical systems. Then I guess we're about to become family. The last thing they saw before the energy overwhelmed them was the hunger. Contained once again, raging helplessly in its prison as 4 different species, proved that together they were stronger than the darkness. Lisa woke up slowly, feeling like she had been sleeping for a very long time. The first thing she noticed was that she wasn't dead. The second thing she noticed was that she was on her own ship in the medical bay. Captain? Amy's voice came from nearby. You're awake! Lisa tried to sit up and felt dizzy. What happened? How long was I unconscious? 3 days, Amy said, helping her sit up carefully. And we're all alive thanks to something amazing. Lisa looked around and saw the others. Zara-Eth was sitting in a chair by the window, looking out at the stars. She seemed different somehow, more solid and real than before. Kira was standing near the door, and Lisa noticed that her crystal markings were glowing softly, just like her sister's. Nixara? Lisa asked, suddenly worried. She's fine, Kira said with a smile. Better than fine, actually. She's down in engineering, making friends with your engine crew. Amy helped Lisa stand up. The biomechanical systems did more than just get us out of the prison. They connected us, all 4 of us. We can sense each other now, even when we're apart. Lisa felt it then, a warm presence in the back of her mind. She could feel Amy's curiosity, Zara-Eth's ancient wisdom, Kira's protective strength, and Nixara's joy in creating and fixing things. We're linked, Lisa said, amazed. The Void Builders designed their technology to create bonds between different species, Zara-Eth explained. When we shared our life energy to escape the prison, we became something new. Not human or elf or Zephyrian, but all of them together. Kira's crystal markings pulsed gently. I can feel my sister's happiness from 3 decks away. And I can feel all of your emotions, too. It should be overwhelming, but instead it feels right. Lisa walked to the window and looked out at space. The Guardian ship was still there, keeping watch over the prison. But now there were other ships, too. Human, Elven, and Zephyrian vessels that had come to help. How did our fleets find us? Lisa asked. Amy grinned. The Guardian called them. It sent messages to all 3 home worlds, telling them what happened. It said that 3 species had proved they could work together to save the galaxy. And now they all want to meet each other, Kira added. The Zephyrian Fleet Command is very interested in human tactical flexibility. They've never seen anything like it. Zara-Eth stood and walked over to Lisa. For a moment, they just looked at each other. Then Zara-Eth slowly extended her hand, palm up, in the careful elven way. I believe humans have a custom, Zara Eth said softly. Something about shaking hands to show friendship. Lisa smiled and placed her hand over Zara Eth's, but instead of shaking, she just held it gently. I think we're past handshakes now. We're family. Family, Zara Eth repeated, tasting the human word. Yes, I like this word. They were interrupted by Nixara's excited voice over the communication system. Lisa, Amy, you have to see what we've discovered. They all hurried down to the engineering deck where Nixara was working with human engineers. Her bioluminescence was brighter than ever, and she looked completely healthy. Look, Nixara said, showing them a display screen. When our technologies combined in the prison, they created something new. The Guardian analyzed it and found that we can now build ships that use all three types of technology together. Amy studied the designs with wonder. Faster than human ships, stronger than Zephyrian ships, and smarter than Elven ships. And, Nixara added with a big smile, they can be operated by mixed crews. The biomechanical interfaces respond to any species that's been through the bonding process. Kira understood the implications immediately. We could explore the galaxy together, find other threats, other species that need help. The Guardian told us something else, Zara Eth said. There are other prisons out there, other ancient threats. The Void Builders were fighting a war across the entire galaxy before they disappeared. Lisa felt the excitement of her new family through their bond. So we keep working together, humans, elves, and Zephyrians, exploring and protecting. 3 months later, the first tri-species ship launched from a joint space station orbiting a neutral world. It was called the New Dawn, and it carried a crew of 60 beings from all three species. Captain Lisa Morgan stood on the bridge, watching her mixed crew work together with an efficiency that amazed everyone. Humans brought adaptability and quick thinking. Elves brought patience and deep knowledge. Zephyrians brought strength and honor. Commander Zara Eth served as the ship's cultural advisor and strategic planner. Her elven ability to see long-term patterns helped them avoid conflicts before they started. Kira Voss was the security chief, but she had learned to value diplomacy as much as strength. Her sister Nixara was the chief engineer, and her bioluminescent abilities had helped create new technologies that no single species could have imagined. Dr. Amy Walsh led the science department, studying the ruins left by the Void Builders and looking for clues about other ancient threats. On this particular day, they were responding to another distress call from an unknown species. Lisa stood on the bridge, feeling the steady presence of her family through their bond. Captain, reported a young human officer, we're receiving a signal from the ship ahead. It's damaged and requesting assistance. Lisa smiled. Open a channel and prepare the cultural contact protocols. As the New Dawn approached the alien vessel, Lisa thought about how much had changed. A few months ago, she had been just a human, captain. Now she was part of something bigger, a family that spanned the stars, an alliance that could face any threat. The view screen showed the damaged alien ship ahead. Whatever species they were about to meet, Lisa knew they would approach, with patience, understanding, and open hands. This is Captain Lisa Morgan of the tri-species vessel New Dawn, she said into the communication system. We received your distress call. We're here to help. Behind her, Zara Eth placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. Through their bond, Lisa felt the elf woman's approval and affection. Kira Voss checked her security displays and nodded to show that they were ready for anything. Amy Walsh studied her scanners with scientific curiosity, eager to learn about new life, and somewhere in engineering, Nixara's bioluminescence pulsed with joy at the thought of helping someone new. Lisa remembered that first meeting when Zara Eth had flinched away from her offered hand. Now they were family, bound by shared danger and mutual respect. Alien vessel, Lisa continued. Please don't be afraid. We mean no harm. We're friends. The response came back in a language none of them had heard before, but Amy's translation systems were already working on it. Within minutes, they would be talking to another new species, maybe building another alliance. Lisa looked out at the stars and felt complete. Humanity had dreamed of meeting other species for centuries. They had imagined conquest or submission, dominance or servitude. They had never imagined family. But family was exactly what they had found, and what they would. Keep building, one friendship at a time, across the endless sea of stars. The new dawn moved forward into the unknown, carrying with it the combined hopes and dreams of three species who had learned that the greatest strength in the universe was not weapons, or technology, or ancient wisdom. It was the willingness to reach out your hand to a stranger and say, "I want to help." And it was the courage to trust that hand when it was offered to you.